G'day fellas, welcome to a casted game. Spawning in the northwest of the map, it's Mido, and he is playing the Rus, his opponent. You know him as the one and only Give You Anxiety, and he spawns down in the southeast of the map, and he is playing the Abbasid Dynasty. Let's talk a little bit about this map because we have got quite the show for you guys today. For anybody unfamiliar with these two players, these guys are absolute titans of Age of Empires 3, legends in the scene, and they're going up against each other here. That sound that you just heard was the sound of a villager completing a building. Let's see if is that a female villager? Oh, yep. Hear that. Check this out. Hold on. She's about to do it. Let's see if she does it. No, she didn't do it. She didn't do it. Sometimes you get a voice line where they're just like, ah! They scream out in absolute, I don't know if it's agony or satisfaction, but either way, I'll have what she's having. Now, so let's talk a little bit about this map. So this map is Ancient Spires. You can see all over the map there are these spires, so it's very nice to wall on. When it comes to booming, though, booming is probably the most important thing that you can do on this map. So as you can see, there's lots and lots of little ponds around this map. 1, 2, 3, and a 4th pond up here. So what's the best strategy to do? Well, it depends on the civilization that you're playing. But for the Abbasids, which is what GUA is playing, you want to water boom like crazy. Normally in Age of Empires 4, if you can water boom, you should water boom. Just simply because it pays off so incredibly quickly. So for Give You Anxiety, his docks are going to be costing half the price of a normal dock, 75 wood. Compare that over to Mido, on the other hand, who's paying 150 wood for his docks. So he's going to have a bit more of a difficult time. Mido now with multiple scouts out. So I think this is a little bit of a meta choice from Mido. I do like this. So let's talk about why this is a good choice from Mido. Now, he knows that his enemy is probably going to be playing Abbasid. If I get this map, about 90% of the time my enemy is going to be playing Abbasid, and I'll probably pick Abbasid as well, unless I'm feeling a little bit Chinese. But he will probably know his enemy's playing Abbasid, and so as a consequence, it means that he can pretty much have a run of the map, a run of the Gaia. GUA isn't going to be thinking too much about it. Mido's going to be able to steal these hunts very effectively if he wants to. GUA is not going to be too fussed about those. So I'm curious to see how we're going to watch Mido. Mido actually picking up that wolf right there, managing to take it off GUA without GUA really getting a hand on it. Villager up here to the north, coming out with a... Oh, that's a villager. I thought it was a spear for a second. I'm like, hold on a minute, that's a spearman right there. But now going to be coming in down and dropping down a dock of his own. Now, whenever you're looking for a place to put a dock, ideally you want to have a deep water fish near it. But if it doesn't have a deep water fish, that is okay. That is okay. Give You Anxiety down here. Whoops, sorry, wrong button. Down here to the south, got a villager and has expanded now to the 2nd dock. So I guess the question is, what can you do against a, someone who goes aggressive docks? And to be honest, I really don't know the answer to that question because there's so many issues with it, because you can put a dock here, you put a dock over here, you can literally put a dock in every single, you can put a dock in here for all I care. Look at that thing, that's tiny bit. If you can fit a dock in there, literally like you dock there, bam, bam, 2,000 fish right there. That's a lot of, like, that's more food than you have in your berry patch. Think about that for a second, right? That is 250 times 6, that's 1,500. That is more fish, more food. It's literally triple or double the food than what you would have otherwise. So, just because I sound like I'm joking, all right, that's a good investment. Get in on that. Like that's like GME right now. Get in on that. GUA actually doing a pretty decent job with these walls, and I kind of like the way that he's thinking. So he could have very easily just gone for a dock over here, right? But if he goes for a dock over there, how's he going to wall that? He got to wall across like that, in like that. But by putting up these walls, he is preventing his opponent. He's basically saying, look, yeah, you can come kill this, but you're going to have double the firepower, because this is 1,500 to get through these, and then it's another 1,500 to get through the dock. And then, maybe by then, I'm already up to the next age. I've got a Dow out, beginning to attack you. So, do you really want to go for it? That sort of thing. But GUA now down to the south, continuing to expand 4 fishing boats out here. Compare that to 5 fishing boats up on this side. Looks like he's doing a little bit of soul searching out here as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see him actually drop another fishing or another dock right here. We'll take a look over at Mido's perspective, because GUA is putting down that barracks. So we'll take a look over at Mido. We'll spot exactly what he's up to. Going up to the next stage now, dropping down the golden gate, which is exactly what I would expect in this situation. Typically, the Golden Gate, you're going to be wanting to do a lot of trades. For anybody unfamiliar with this landmark, the way that it works is it's like a normal market where you can trade resources, but you always have a favorable exchange rate. So typically on a water boom, you're going to want to be selling your fish. And by the way, yes, those are fishing boats. They don't look like fishing boats, but I assure you they are fishing boats. You want to be selling your fish. So here you get to sell your fish at a much higher rate. So it's definitely a great landmark to have on a map like this. And GUA now going to continue gathering down here to the south. We'll know that he's not going over 4 fishing boats in here. He's not oversaturating. He's just, you know, he wants that trickle of food and he doesn't want it to be explosive. You don't want to just put like 15 fishing boats in here. You just leave 4 in here and it's absolutely fine. The general rule that I go by, count how many shoreline fish are in the pond, and then you want to have roughly the same amount of fishing boats as that. So as an example, up here, if you put a dock down, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would go for 7 fishing boats up here and I'd be satisfied with that. Now, everyone's got their own little different rule that they could have. Like, you know, there's a lot of shore fish here. How many are we talking? That's 7, 8, 9. In a pond like this with deep sea fish as well, you could probably even go a little bit higher. You could start thinking about maybe 11 or 12 fishing boats and get out here onto these shore fish, stay on the deep sea fish. Give you anxiety now, moving out across the map. A couple of spears, going to begin sieging down this dock. And I do like this play. This dock isn't in the best position. You know, it's nowhere near as defensible as this. Mito could have potentially put the dock up here and then like walled in around like that. But I don't think GUA would have hesitated there either. Also going to be putting down a dock in the middle here. And we can see that both players really just not bothering too much when it actually comes to fighting over these ponds with docks. So one of the things that I've begun doing on maps like this, I just put a dock down. If I see my enemy goes for this, I'm like, all right, we can have a dock fight. And we pull out our docks and we start fighting with each other. And look, it gets pretty violent, I'll be honest with you. If you're watching this on YouTube, you probably want to blur it. But it's not the best. Mito now going to be looking to continue expanding down into this pond. Plenty of fishing boats out for him, but keep in mind, okay, this doesn't actually affect Mito. A lot of you guys might be thinking this is the right play for GUA to make, okay? Mito is playing the Rus. Now, you guys want to know something about the Rus? Something really cool about the Rus. Not a lot of people know this, mainly because it's the very last bonus that they get. And, you know, if a civilization's got 8 bonuses, right, you're not going to read the last one because you're already excited about the first 7. Well, the last bonus, which might not be that exciting to many of you, is that Rus fishing boats don't have to go back to the dock to drop off their food, which means that Mito, despite losing his dock, has not lost his fishing boats on this pond. Any other civilization would be sitting here twiddling their thumbs with their fishing boat, but not Mito. Mito continues to gather food out here. And that, my friends, is why Rus is the best civilization in the game. I mean, that's part of the reason why. It's not the best, it's not the reason why they're the best civ, but, you know, it's amongst one of those reasons. Mito going to continue collecting that fish in the middle of the pond now. Very happy going up to that 3rd age as well. You can see Mito definitely a fan of fast castles. I played against Mito quite a bit of, like, I'll be honest, I played a lot of games against Mito. He's a really good player, like very talented. And he seems to be going for fast castles a lot. Going for the Abbey of the Trinity, for anybody unfamiliar with this landmark, this is going to be a landmark that really makes Mito, I would say, in a great position to win this game. And part of the reason why is he's going to be able to go out, collect these relics pretty much uncontested. There's 2 relics down here to the south, another relic up here to the north. Let's have a look and see whether he's actually uncovered it. He has uncovered all of the relics on the map. So he's going to be easily able to go out and collect all of those. GUA actually doing a pretty decent job right here. And just as we predicted, Mito is indeed going to be bringing back those carcasses. Stealing a couple carcasses off GUA, but not using too many. Just only using 3 scouts. I'm more of a 7 scout guy, as you guys do know. But GUA just standing guard over here saying, hey, you're going to have to come in for these shore fish eventually. And when you do, we're going to light you motherfuckers up. But one of the things that Mito could do, if he wanted to, he could just he could convert these into a lodger attack ship. In fact, I would do that. You convert one of these fishing boats into a lodger attack ship, you shoot all of these guys, and then you start fishing again. That's big brain. That is big brain. That's next level big brain. That's like, you have a brain that big, it doesn't fit in your body. Like, that's how big that brain is. I love the way that GUA is like surrounding the pond. Like, come out with your fish in the air. You are surrounded. Oh, for anybody wondering, you might be wondering, what GUA is up to. Let's take a look at his base. We'll see if he's got any age up in queue. Indeed, he does. So initially went up with the economic wing. Going to be going up with the culture wing now. Surprisingly, no military wing. Didn't actually research fresh foodstuffs. And now the horse archers begin. Horse archers, one of the stronger units for the Rus. Keep in mind, you do not want to be using these units as a front line. They're quite weak, but use them as a back line. Very, very strong units. Now, Mido going to begin his reign back on that waterfront. Plenty of fishing boats out here for GUA. Still 4 out here, down to the south, but lots down here. And when you're doing this long-distance mining, long-distance shore fishing, whatever it is that you want to call, ideally you could even chuck in a few more docks just around here. Just one over here, just to make it go that little bit quicker. And GUA just keeping guard. Spotting out the landmarks from his opponent. We'll take a look from Mido's perspective. We can see he is training Warrior Monks. I do apologize. The Warrior Wonks are out. Oh, Lord. It's getting to that time of the day. It must be 7 a.m. where I am right now. So it's getting a little bit early. Gonna be moving in now with these horse archers and take a look at the damage that these guys are managing to do. Getting a couple villager kills right there. You can see the logs actually on the ground from the villager. Are they the logs on the ground from the villager? Did she drop those logs? Or is that from the mining camp? This one's dropped her axe. I need to know. At this point, I need to know. I'm invested. Are these her logs? Or are they from the mining camp? They were her logs! They were her logs! Don't just walk past her. Pick up her logs. Hand them in. I can't believe they were her logs. Now, speaking of her logs, these horse archers don't have any bonus damage. So there are some cavalry archers or camel archers that have got bonus damage against spears. So camel archers have I think it's a plus 18 bonus against spears. Horse archers don't have any bonus whatsoever against spears. And people might be wondering, okay, Drongo, why the heck do horse units have a bonus against spears? Aren't they meant to counter it? Well, yeah, but you need to think about horse archers or camel archers kind of like an archer, really. And it's just that they're on a horse. And so the two units can counter each other. That's in my books, that's perfectly fine. You know, a pike is going to counter, or a spear is going to counter a horse. And at the same time, an archer is going to counter a man who cannot catch an archer, or cannot reach an archer, rather. All right, going to continue pushing forward, and a significant mass here now beginning to build up from Mido. And one of the things that he's used very well here is his water synergy. For anybody wondering about what water synergy could be, water synergy is where you naturally have more food than any other resource. You can see just right now how much food Mido is collecting compared to every other resource. So what do you do with that food? If you're playing the English, you want to make longbows, right? Well, longbows cost more wood than they cost food. That's not going to work. So Mido doing a great job here, identifying the horse archer as potential, because these guys are very expensive when it comes to food, but not so expensive when it comes to wood. Got to be careful. Mido does move away, and a little bit of a misclick right there onto the house that was on the ground. You can see the animation that he's got right there is pretty darn decent, though. So we'll take a look over at the cost of these bad boys. So each one of these is 80 food, 40 wood. So as long as he's got, you know, more than a dozen villagers collecting wood, which he definitely does, he's also got them buffed up by the wooden fortress, by the way, he's going to be in an absolutely fine position and really begin spamming out these units. We take a look at his base. How many of these has he got? He's got 4 of these coming out constantly. And earlier we did speak about those relics down towards the south. And as you can see, Mido continues to bring them back to his base. In addition to that, he's got another warrior monk up here towards the north, going to be bringing that in. And just doing so much stuff. I'm really impressed with Mido. At the same time, bringing in these hunts as well. It's really, really impressive stuff. I like the way that he's playing a bit of a raid coming in right now. Plenty of villagers going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 villagers going to be going down. 6 villagers going to be going down. Could potentially move this warrior monk over and look at doing a bit of a convert. But going to be placing... How many... Wait. Oh, they're in here. He's got 4 of them. Now all these villagers are going to be going down. And I think GUA's picked up a fair few villagers here. There was 16 villagers on this wood line, and that has been completely turned around. So these lancers coming out and doing plenty of damage to Mido's economy. Despite that, Mido is still at a significant lead at the moment, about a 700 score lead. Cavalry archers going to continue moving out. Got to be careful here as he pushes away. Knights are going to, or lancers rather, going to be continuing to chase away and making contact. Hitting that big lance charge. Horse archers do finally come out and really just spamming horse archers. And at this point, you guys might be wondering, Drongo, what the hell does he make against horse archers? He's just getting the old runaround right now. GUA is meant to be the guy running him around, not Mido. Mido's the guy that's meant to be running around. Good question. I would say probably just mass archers and knights. I think that's probably the best bet, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I think also maybe the Springald could work. It does 60 damage, and these guys have got 85 health, so it does two-shot them. So maybe that could work if you've got two Springalds back here, just, you know, piercing through these guys. Mito looking pretty decent, though, at the moment. At the same time, so once again, these scouts out here just doing more work. So this is really impressive. He brings these in, he puts them underneath the town center, and, you know, he's just bringing them in trickle by trickle. If you've watched me play, you would have seen that I like to go for the 7 scouts. Mito's just opted for the 3 scouts, and that's all he needs. A little bit of a raid coming up there. Mito doing a great job now of trying to get back. Horsemen have now come out as well against the cavalry archers. Yeah, no, sorry, they're horse archers, not cav archers. I do apologize. So horsemen coming out, going to be doing their best to get on top of it. I love that scream that we hear. 1.62 movement speed. Compare that over to the 1.88 speed of the horsemen, and they will catch them eventually. So maybe that's the counter. Maybe GUA has identified that as the counter, and is going to continue making that. Over towards the north of the map, a spearman, a lonely spearman, continues to siege down the fishing boats of Mito. Those fishing boats try their best, but keep in mind, from Mito's perspective, he's just going to have so much going on. He's not even going to be thinking about this or hearing this. More cav archers or horse archers towards the north now, beginning to push out, and these fishing boats do finally move over. And Rus looking pretty strong at the moment. Beginning to capture those sacred sites. We do see up towards the north, a warrior monk was going for it, but he's now been pushed off it, that sacred site, up to about 99%. And actually going to be draining that one out. So unsuccessful. So very nice stop there by GUA. Managing to do it. But Mito now, really good position here. Absolutely love this from Mito. Take a look at this micro. Just 100% on point. Oh, the splits as well. Mito the micro god. There's a lot of M's right there. But GUA now also pushing forward with archers in the middle. Does have the veteran upgrades. New sacred site, or new objective, defend all sacred sites. I don't know why that came up on Sacred Site lost. You are approaching Sacred Victory. It was a very quick Sacred Site victory. Oh, I do apologize to you guys. I think he actually captured this Sacred Site, and then the spear was pushing it down. Mito making a little bit of a mistake here. This is something that we rarely see from Mito, mistakes. But it does look like mistakes were made here. Plenty of horse archers out for him, and the mass continues to build. Oh my lord, a little bit of a cav switch, ladies and gentlemen. 3 stables out the back here for Mito. 2.1k gold at this point, and that is all coming from his relics. For anybody wondering, where is it all coming from? It's all coming from those relics. Mito's got 5 relics in the bag right now. He is not worried about them. He's not bringing them out on the map. He's just keeping them in there. That's trickling in that gold. He's only making horse archers, which, as we talked about earlier, food and wood. At the same time, he's still got these fishing boats out and about, and he's also got these sacred sites, which are also going to be trickling in gold. So he's got 5 relics, 3 sacred sites, 800 gold a minute coming in right now. He doesn't even need villagers on gold, and he's got excess gold, and that's how he's able to do it. So I'm curious to see exactly what he's going to be going into. Mito continuing to push back his enemy at this point. We'll take a look over at GUA's perspective and see exactly what he's up to. Going to be pushing in here. A couple of horsemen now moving to the front. GUA looking like he might be in a bit of a tough spot. A knight coming out. And I think the question here is, would a camel be reasonable? Because for anybody unfamiliar with the bonuses, okay, oh my lord, we've got a camel right now. I didn't even realize. Camel bonus right here. We've got camel unease, dealing 20% less damage. These guys also do a bonus versus cavalry. They're not as fast as the horsemen, but they are much more effective against these cavalry units because they get that bonus. So they get plus 18 versus cavalry. So they're effectively doing 27 damage. But I think GUA has realized, but the question is, has he realized too late? Listen to these guys screaming. These guys just yelling. And now a knight going to be coming in, hitting the front, and Mito with the double +2 upgrades. Compare that to GUA. He's only got the 2 ranged armor at the moment. Does not have any of that melee armor. And looking to focus down that camel rider. We take a look back at GUA's base. We see exactly what he's got going on. 3 stables out for him, a couple barrackses, 2 archery ranges. So not a whole lot. Not really in a position to go up to the Imperial Age at this point, but now going to be turning the tides of battle as Mito looks like he might be in a bit of a difficult spot as the camel mass begins to build. I'd love to see GUA potentially get that +1 armor, even potentially look at getting another attack on that, on the melee attack, but ideally we need to see these camel numbers beginning to build. Archers and camels are what we need out of this guy. I'm curious, do warrior monks count as cavalry? Religious cavalry, they do indeed, so they are going to get countered by camels as well. Mido just going full cavalry against Abbasid, which in my book of rules, that is like rule number 1, don't go cavalry against the Abbasid. And it looks like Mido has broken that rule. And not only has he broken that rule, but he seems to be breaking this game because Give You Anxiety is meant to be the one giving out anxiety. I suspect Mido is the one who's actually going to be giving a lot of it today. Mido going to continue to push in here. Villagers going to begin going down on this wood line. GUA failing to spot that one out just yet. Looks like he's getting pushed up against the wall right now. GUA in a bit of a difficult spot, going to be losing out this wood line. That's 29 villagers that are going to be going idle any second now. Unless GUA turns around and says, you know what, I'm going to fight. But he's in a difficult spot. These villagers only do 6 damage each, and these guys have got 7 armor on them, so plenty of armor for these knights right now. They're so heavily armored, they just don't even take a scratch from it. At the same time, Mido now going for a forward keep. This keep is really looking to settle in the game, because with this keep, he's going to be able to single-handedly begin to push at the base of Give You Anxiety. After this keep, undoubtedly, we're going to see a siege workshop getting dropped down if we haven't already got one yet, and there's going to be a trebuchet that comes out under the safety of the keep. It's going to continue to treb down all of this and spell the end. Mido now continuing this raid, moving around the back of the base, multitasking absolute everywhere. It really looks like GUA at this point may be getting out multitasked, which is a rare sight to behold. GUA looking like he might be in a bit of a tough position right here. More Lance is going to be combining with those knights, and I think he's got him on the ropes at this point. And GUA bows out. He calls the good game. Mido is victorious, taking out the Age of Empires 3 championship for 2021. Not really. There wasn't a championship, but these two guys are champions of Age of Empires 3. If you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.